Hey, welcome back to another episode of the DNA of a Professional. I'm so glad you're here. If you are new here, I'm Tareka Wheeler, your creator and your host, as well as a career and work-life strategist. And this podcast is really all about you getting to a point where you understand that you have everything inside of you to be your best and your unique self, and that's your professional DNA. It's your defined natural abilities to succeed, your defined natural abilities to take your career and honestly your life to the next level and wherever you want to do that and however you want to do that. So today we're talking about something really important, and that's your future. Can you think about like when you were a kid, your parents may have always been talking about like your future, like you've got to do good in school, your future depends on it. You got to get a degree, your future depends on it. You got to keep your room clean, your future depends on it. Like everything was depending on your future, right? It's actually probably kind of daunting. Like I feel like that was everything that was sometimes said to me from, parents or my grandmother, what have you. It was always because of my future depended on it. Well, here's the thing. They weren't exactly wrong. I mean, there are definitely some things that we have to do in order to plan for our future. I'm a firm believer of that, honestly, right? I think that we have to take time to think about where we are, where we want to be, and how we're going to get there. And doing that type of future planning is so important because there's you right now, but then there's like your future self. And so today I want to talk to you about how to set your future self up for success. I can think of times where I was just kind of going with the flow. So I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, but I knew I wanted to be something different from what I was in that moment. And I knew I wanted to be something different like in the future. But can you imagine if you actually just took some time to get strategic about what you actually want to do in your future? If you took some time to think it through and put some actions and some steps and like have a real approach so that this future that you want so bad, and I don't care what it is, like to be honest, let's keep it real. Sometimes your future might be about getting a new job. Your future might be about getting a new car. It might be about building your first home or building your second home or moving into an apartment that's not the size of a shoebox, like whatever it may be. And wherever you are in life, there's a future self that's like yearning and can't wait to like meet you and get you there because there's things that you want. And that's okay. Quite frankly, if you didn't want something more and you didn't want something better, you wouldn't even be here with me. So couple of things. One, grab your notebook if you don't have it already. Like, what are you doing? We talk about this all the time. Get your notebook so you can write these thoughts down. If you are listening to me, and that's okay. You're in the car, you're on a plane or a train or whatever. It's okay. Take some mental notes and then jot some things down when you can. Put some notes into your phone because I really think it's important that we are tracking this journey that you're on, right? Like you're not listening and you're not here because you want to continue to do the same thing over and over again. You're listening and you're here because you want to do something different. You're choosing to be here and you choose to do something different so that you can get different results, right? So I believe today's episode is for absolutely anyone that is ready for the change. Anyone who is ready to make sure that you are doing some work like in your present day so you can actually set yourself up for success in the future, right? So how to set your future self up for success. And I believe success shouldn't be just like in the moment. It should be sustainable. It should be something that you see over and over and over again, right? It should not just be for this year or for this month. I want you to experience success. And however it is that you define it, I want you to experience that over and over and over and over again. You with me? Like, who wants to experience success one time and then never have it again? Like, once you get a taste of it, like you want it over and over again. It's like the good meal that you have and you're like, oh my God, this is now my favorite restaurant. Or I don't know what it is. Let's tell you guys this. I don't know what it is, but here in the Northern Virginia area, so my family and I are in Northern Virginia, there's a place called Rita's. And I don't know if you guys have that in your areas or in your communities, but it's basically like a a shaved ice place. And it's so good. It's so, so good. And they have all these different flavors. And I just can't get enough of it. Like at one point, we were going every single day, or at least every other day, because everybody has their favorite flavor. And I would literally think about it like, okay, tomorrow, what am I getting? Like once I had like this taste of it, I couldn't let it go. And then eventually I was like, okay, we can go to Rita's every single day. But I knew that it was something that I wanted, and I wanted it often, and I wanted to experience my certain flavors of shaved ice. That's kind of like life. Like there are certain things that you want to experience over and over again. Success is one of them. Love is one of them. Trust and security. Like those are not things that you just want to feel one time and then be done. Usually it's the things that you want to feel more times than once, like over and over and over again, right? Just a thought. So plan for that. Plan for that. If there are things that you want your future self to experience, if there are things that you want to be sure that you are setting yourself up for in your future, then we got to plan for that. And so I want to talk with you about that today. And you got your notes, I got mine, right? So I want to talk to you about that today and really dig in and help you set your future self up for success. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our present day that we forget the need to think about tomorrow. And there's all different thoughts around that. There are many people who actually don't believe that you should be worried about your future, that, you know, your future just happens and it comes, and stay present and not be, you know, completely stuck in this idea that you have to think about your future. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think that living in the present and being here in the now is so important. And there's things that we can do to ensure our success in this present time. However, I think you should plan for your future, and you should have a clear thought and understanding about where you want to go, why you want to go there, how you're going to get there. I think all of that is so incredibly important. So why is future planning crucial? Well, I think it's crucial because you're setting yourself up for the personal and or professional success that you want to see in the future. And in order to do that and do that in a meaningful way, you have to plan for it. That's just what it is. As a strategist, as someone who lives by strategic planning and helping individuals and organizations develop those strategic approaches for how they're going to get to that next level or achieve that goal or achieve that vision in their business, in their institution, or in their lives, I believe that you have to have an approach to doing so. And if you're going to do that, you're not doing that just for the here and now, you're doing it for the future. There are multi-billion-dollar and million-dollar companies that take strategic planning and future planning so very serious. They think about their current state and their future state and where they want to go. And then they put plans and goals in place to get there, or they hire staff, or, you know, change resources so they can get there. Your life is no different. I'm telling you, it's no different. We have to do that type of planning. And I want to talk with you a bit about how you can do that so you can set your future self up for success. Can we do that today? Yes. Okay. Before we jump in, a couple of things. Have you subscribed to this channel? Have you subscribed to this channel? Are you sure you set your notifications for the DNA of a Professional podcast? Yes? Okay. Have you followed me on Instagram? Tareka_the strategist. Have you done that? Are you sure? That was your homework. If you weren't here for the homework, that's okay. Some of us miss class. Not a problem. You can go and do it now. You can go and do it now. Make sure that you have that done so that we're constantly staying connected. Okay. Other places that we can connect, look in the show notes. You can see LinkedIn and others. There's no excuse for us not being like locked in together. Okay. There's no excuse. So I want to be sure that that's the case. And that way you don't miss anything. You don't miss any updates. You don't miss any special episodes, special announcements, especially as I start to bring guests on to the show. I don't want you to miss that. So you've got to be connected. Make sure you're on my email list and you're getting weekly emails from me. I don't spam you. I don't send you a whole bunch of salesy things. It really is to empower you and affirm you and give you strategies and resources so that you can grow. That's what it's about. Seriously. And then I do share courses and workshops that I'm doing. Some are workshops that are free and really you're just there for me to, bring value. Others are workshops that, have a cost to them, or programs or services that have a cost to them. So whichever level of investment that you want to do in yourself, hey, there's something there for you. Okay. So let's be sure we get that done. If not, you can either press pause, go do it now, or you can wait after this episode and then do it. Deal? Okay, deal. So let's jump in. I think one of the first things I want to kind of start with is reflecting on your goals and aspirations. A part of you setting yourself up for success is understanding your goals and your aspirations. And before you even talk about your future, you have to take a minute to actually reflect on where you want to be. Where is it that you want to be? Where is it that you want to go? What are the things that you want to experience? What are the things that you don't want to feel or experience anymore? Doing that reflection is so important. Self-reflection is actually one of the first steps that you can take to begin to craft this roadmap, this little path for the success that you have defined. Because let's be clear, my version of success or my idea of success is very different from yours and different from the next person and the next person. And that's okay. That's how it should be. Like no one definition of success is going to be the same, right? We've been talking about these three little words, above my head: confidence, grind, hustle. The grind that you choose, it almost grind is almost like the level of effort that you choose to put into something is going to be very different from somebody else's. And that's okay. We just have to know what's the result of that grind and know that what we put in is what we're going to get out. Well, when we're thinking about reflecting back on where we want to be so that we can begin to develop that roadmap, we have to think about, well, what is it that we're willing to put? What have we put in the past? Right? As we're reflecting, what have we put in? And then what is it that we are now able to kind of craft moving forward for the future? Or what should I be expecting in the future based on what I have actually done and the level of effort, the grind that I've put in? And I feel like that's very important because sometimes we will sit back and we'll reflect and we'll be like, oh, my gosh, look at all this work that I've done. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I've been putting in all this work. And what do I have to show for it? But I'm going to challenge you to reflect back and think, well, what exactly was that work? What exactly were you doing? What exactly were you putting in? Because a lot of times we can just be busy, but yet we're not putting in the work that we need to put in to get the results we want to see. And I know that may hurt for some of you, but I want you to think about it. You can be working and be busy, but are you doing the right type of work and the right types of activities to get you to the results that you actually really want in your life? So the reflection is key, and it's a time for you to get real. Get real with yourself. Get real with reflecting on the goals that you had and if you achieved them, if you didn't achieve them, why or why not. Have a real conversation with yourself. I do that with myself and my goals. I review my goals monthly in detail. What's the progress that I've made on those goals? If I'm not progressing, why? Is it me? Oftentimes it is. Is it outside influences or lack of resources? Like, what's the reason why I'm not making traction on this goal? Is it a goal that still serves the vision, right? So if I have this vision for my life, right? Does this still serve the vision? If the goal is no longer serving the vision, then we got to take that off the list. And just because you set a goal at the beginning of the year doesn't mean that it's going to be there at the end of the year, because perhaps you are evolving. And as you're evolving, you're getting rid of some of those goals. So reflection is key, but you got to be willing to be real and truly reflect on the goals that you set, the aspirations that you had, and what is the work, what is the grind that you're putting in to get the results that you desire. That is one of the first things that you can do to set your future self up for success, is to get real about reflection and reflecting on your goals and your aspirations, but not just thinking about them, right? But actually reflecting on what is it that you have been doing to make progress against them. Okay? Is that sitting with you a little bit? It's not an easy thing to do, but it's a necessary thing to do. And sometimes it could hurt. Sometimes it could be a gut check, but it's so necessary. It's so very necessary. I also want you to understand your values and aspirations and how those play a key role in setting your future self up for success, right? We talked about core values in several episodes, but we definitely even tapped into core values in the last episode. And your values and your aspirations can't be oil and water. They have to connect. They have to match. You have to align your core values and success and make sure that they're connecting in a way that is going to equal fulfillment and that's going to be meaningful to the overarching goal that you have for your future, right? Or the overarching vision you have for your future. If you want to set your future self up for success, you have got to make sure that you are causing really good mixtures and reactions between your goals, your aspirations, and your values. If those things are misaligned and you can't find connectivity between them, we gotta go back to the drawing board and start over, because you're not going to set yourself up for success in the future. You're setting yourself up to be unclear. How many times do you hear people talk about, oh, I'm going to help you gain clarity? Well, guess what? Clarity starts with self. You want to get clarity around your career. You want to get clarity around your business. You want to get clarity around your household and why the heck things are happening the way they are. Then I'm going to encourage you to actually take a big step back and think about your goals, your values, and your aspirations, and if they are in alignment with one another. Because oftentimes it's there why we have a lack of clarity. It's because we are misaligned from jump. We are misaligned at the very foundation. And so you wonder why you can't get very clear of where you want to go in your career. Well, you don't have a clear sense of your values and your goals and your aspirations. You wonder why you are kind of a little bit, hazy and unfocused in what you want to do personally and how you want to grow or how you want to build relationships. Well, you don't have a really good, clear alignment with your core values, your goals, and your aspirations. And that's just real talk. And it's not an easy thing to do, but again, it's a necessary thing to do. And if that's an area where you feel like you need support, we should talk. I definitely encourage you, look at the show notes. You can schedule a discovery call with me. Let's talk about that, because that's the foundation of your success. That's the foundation of setting your future self up for success. There has to be alignment from jump. If it's not aligned from jump, it's going to be a very difficult and rocky road, right? Full transparency, I have been through challenging times in my career, in my personal life. I have been through some challenging times, but what has grounded me outside of my, being a believer, my love for Christ, which I'm a believer over here. So I hope that does not offend you, because that is what it is. But it's me knowing who I am and what's at my core, understanding the aspirations that I have for Tareka, understanding my core values and the things that are most important to me, and the goals that I have for myself, because there's this vision that's maybe like 10 years away, but I aspire to be there, and my goals align with that, and who I am at my core align with that. When that's not intact, it is almost impossible to set your future self up for success. It's almost impossible to do a strategic career search as you're looking for your next job, because your core is not right. The foundation is not right. You're not in a space where you have a strong foundation to stand on and step back to in order to gain clarity. Okay? I know that's a difficult thing to hear, but I need you to check into that. So that's the first thing, is that really making sure that you reflect on your goals and aspirations, and then you take that a step further and you make sure that your core values and your goals and your aspirations are in alignment with one another. Yes? All right. So the next thing is setting goals. It's setting goals and setting SMART goals. And I actually have an entire episode in season 1 that talks about SMART goals, that your goals should be very specific. You should be able to measure those goals. They should be something that's actually attainable, right? Like within some decent reach. They should be goals that are relevant to this season and like where you are in life. And then they should be time bound. Goals can't just go on and on and on and on and on, right? Like goals need to have an actual time frame in which you want to achieve them. And believe me, that's actually helpful because it's going to order your steps and their actions and the way you get to that goal. If you actually put some time around it, if you just leave it open, child, you're going to be in a place where you're going to have the same goal for the past 3 years or 5 years or 10 years because you never governed yourself and put some timing around when you need to make it happen. Yes? So I want you to be sure that you're thinking about creating goals and creating goals that are smart. You may say, Tareka, can you give me an example? Like, I know you said go to season 1. Can you give me an example of a SMART goal? Absolutely. So let's say your goal is to learn a new skill and you want to get a new certification. That goal that you write that's focused around that certification is that I will sign up for and complete a new certification focused on, let's say, agile methodologies by December 31 of 2023. So I've told you very specifically that I'm going to sign up for a certification, what it's focused on. I'm going to do a relevancy check. Well, is that relevant to where I am in my career right now? Yes, I want to grow. I want to learn more things around agile. Okay. Is it something that's actually attainable? Yeah, I've got some time. I can get that certification done by December 31st. And then did I put a time around it? Yes, I did. So it's very specific and I can measure it. How can I measure it? Well, the measuring is going to be 1, did I sign up for the certification? Yes. 2, did I actually complete the certification by December 31st? Right? I can actually measure that goal. You may say, well, Tareka, why is that so important? Because it helps you build confidence when you see that you set a goal and you achieve a goal. And if you want to set your future self up for success, you've got to train your brain to win. And the way you train your brain to win is that once you have been able to set a goal and achieve it, you're going to keep repeating that process and your brain is going to remember what that feels like. Our mind wants us to feel good. Our mind wants us to experience joy and fulfillment. It doesn't want us to experience things that scare us, or it doesn't want us to experience things that hurt us. So if you can achieve a goal, celebrate a goal, how does that feel? Set a goal, achieve a goal, celebrate it. How does that feel? Right? You're training your brain to win. You're training your brain to achieve goals. Yes? So I want you to do that, but I want you to set SMART goals. And they don't have to be these big goals that don't take 5 years to complete. I want you to set goals that are in reasonable time frames that you can break up into small little pieces so you can prove to yourself and show yourself you can get them done. Again, we're not just setting ourselves up for success in this moment, but we're setting our future self up for success. Let's train ourselves now, train our brains now, so our future self already knows how to get this done. We already know how to repeat it, right? We have repeatable activities in our lives that are going to set us up for success. We don't want to keep repeating things that set us up to fall. We want to repeat things that set ourselves up for success. Yes? Okay. The next thing is of how we can really set up our future selves for success is building habits and building habits that are going to support our future success. There is an incredible thing that I just don't think we give it enough credit. And it is the power of repetition. The power of repetition. I don't know about you, or like if you played sports or you were in the arts or anything like that. But most of the time, if you were playing a sport, if you were in the arts, you're in band, choir. I was in band. I played the clarinet. Shout out to all my woodwinds out there. And I did track. I did like a brief spurt of basketball, like at the Y. My kids pick on me about that all the time. They're so rude, y'all. But they pick on me about that all the time. And I did track. And I did cheer. And in all of that, in order to perfect the craft, I had to practice. And there were certain habits that I had to have in place so that my practice actually even went well. For example, I knew when I was a cheerleader, I had to always stretch. I couldn't just stretch on practice days. I had to stretch outside of practice in order to really keep my flexibility. So I had to build that habit of always stretching. Okay. You may say, okay, Tareka, well, I don't dance. I don't cheer. I'm not doing any of that. I didn't play sports. Okay. Well, let me bring you back into your career. Let me bring you back into your profession. There are certain things that I have to practice because I'm just not good at. So full transparency, and I've shared this in many episodes. So if you've been here with the podcast for a while, you probably know what I'm going to say. What is it that I don't like? What is it that I'm not great at? I know some of y'all already said it. Math. It is not my strong suit. I'm not good at it. I tolerate it, and we have a great love-hate relationship because as a project leader, as a project manager, I have to utilize math and especially Excel a lot. Do I like to do it? No. Have I learned to do it so that it can support what I need? Yes. But I had to build in some habits around the amount of time that I knew it took me to get something done. I had to build in really good habits of time management to ensure that I had the right amount of time that it was going to take me to work on a particular spreadsheet or to work on, like a budget or a project plan where I'm having to utilize Excel or having to build formulas. Like I know me. And so I had to do that. What habits do you need to put in place? What activities or actions do you need to put in place over and over and over again to help set you up for success? How do you need to train your mind and train your actions so that you can actually be successful in getting things done consistently, right? And being efficient about them. Success is often a result of being consistent and having consistent habits. I'll say that again. Success is often a result of being consistent and having consistent habits. It's then that you can tap into an action or an activity that when you do it over and over again, you experience success. When you experience that success over and over again, you feel good. It helps you build what? Boop, confidence. And then you continue to feel that way, right? Year over year or month over month. And that's going to push you towards that future self and that success you want to see, right? So sometimes we have to establish new habits and practice those habits to where they become our new norm. And sometimes we have to break some habits. Anybody out there having to break some habits, knowing that you need to stop doing some things that you're doing in order to push us past these hurdles and these blocks that we have because we are doing something that's hindering us. So we may have to actually break, like snap into hiya, karate chop, get rid of some habits. There are some things, people, places, and things that we need to break that have become a bad habit for us. And it's preventing you from growing. It's preventing you from getting to that future state. It's preventing you from the success that you've defined, that you want for you. So I want to encourage you to do that. And then the last thing before I let you go, in order to set yourself up for success, to set your future self up for success, is investing in learning and investing in skill development, whatever area of your life. So I want to be clear. As a professional, because we're talking about the DNA of a professional, please know that you have to tap into that it's just not about your career or it's just not about your business. It's about your overall lifestyle. It's about your overall self. So that includes health and wellness, your leisure, your travel. That includes your spirituality, your overall wellness, your relationships. 360, you are more than just your career. You are more than just a professional. Right? So I want you to be sure that you're focusing 360. But when you do that, think about where do you need to invest in learning and development? Where do you need to invest in learning new skills in each one of the areas of your life? That's what's going to set you up for sustainable and even holistic success in the future. Because you are not just paying attention to one area of your life, you are being very well-rounded and thinking about yourself 360. In each of the areas. What do you need to learn? What do you need to explore? What do you need to really soak in and immerse yourself in an area so that you can grow, so that you can develop? Investing in yourself is not always about investing money. Investing in yourself is also about investing time and energy and resources. Investing in yourself is about building relationships and networking. Investing in yourself is about taking the time to not just apply for jobs, but being strategic about what you're applying for and knowing that what you're applying for absolutely aligns with and connects with who you are and where you want to be, right? Core values, aspirations, goals, future. Invest in yourself in multiple different ways. You are a diversified investment all in yourself. We don't put all of our eggs and all of our money in one basket. We have to invest in each of the areas of our lives. And that investment is not just money. Yes, sometimes you absolutely have to invest in money, or you have to invest with money, right? Sometimes you absolutely have to take your resources and apply those into areas because you need to put a little bit more pressure. You need a little bit more support. That's why people invest in coaching and in strategists, because they know they need to take something to another level and they need support doing that. But that's not the only investment that you can do. You can invest with other valuable resources that you have, other valuable things that you have to give up, if you will, in order to get to where you want to be. Time, energy, and resources. Yes? So I want you to do that. I want you to invest and do some future planning for yourself. And what is it that I need to learn? What are skills I need to learn? And what are skill development that I need to achieve as well? Okay. I think navigating the present is a part of preparing for the future. Navigating the present is a part of preparing for the future. And the way that you do that is you are very, very in tune with who you are, where you are, and where you want to go. And you can do that in your present day, but at the same time, you are setting your future self up for success because you're training your thoughts now. You're training your actions and your habits now, which is going to set you up for success in the future. You want to get promoted and go to another level in your job and in your career, you have to start planning and acting like that now so that you can be prepared for the opportunity that you attract for your future. But you can't say, oh, I want to be a manager. Oh, I want to be a director. And you're not operating in the mindset of a manager or a director now. Because when the opportunity presents itself in the future, your future self won't be ready. It's almost going to be like culture shock, or like, when you jump in a pool and it's like super cold, it's warm outside, but the water is cold. You jump in and it's like a shock. That's how it's going to feel. You can't just jump from one role to the next and you haven't been mentally preparing. And then from a skills perspective, preparing for that. You can't say, well, I've been this role, but now I just want to make more money. So now I'm going to start applying for this role. If you haven't been conditioning yourself and your mind and your skills to do so, unfortunately, my friend, you're going to fall. And you notice I don't say fail because fails just seems so like final, but you are going to fall. You may fall in a major way. But I want to prevent you from doing that, which means in your present, there are things that you have to do in order to set yourself up for success in the future, right? I think about my kids and like in particularly my boys have played football, basketball. My daughter's done competitive cheer, but they've always been like athletes, right? They've always been engaged in sports. They don't just wake up and jump on the field or the court or the mat. They have to prepare. They have to practice. They have to train. And that just doesn't happen overnight. That's something that you have to do ongoing over and over and over again so that when it is game time, you're ready to show up and win. Well, it's no different in life. There's no different in your career. There's no different in business. You can't just show up. You have to have been preparing for that. So if you want to set your future self up for success, then there are things you have to do in your present day. And that's what we've talked about. Oh, I hope this was so helpful for you and got you thinking about how you can start to set your future self up for success. If this was helpful for you, I want to hear from you. Let me know. Send me a note. Email is right there in the show notes. Let me know what questions you have. I'm happy to answer them. I will answer the questions on the podcast. So you let me know what questions you have. Send them to me. Send me an email. Send me a DM on Instagram. Connect with me on LinkedIn. All of that information is below in the show notes. Let me know, and I'd love to answer your questions because I don't pretend to say that this is easy. I'm real talk. I've not mastered it, but I've experienced it, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. And I know that you right now already, you have what you need inside of you to make these things happen. You just have to dig it up, right? And believe in yourself that you can do it. So that's why I talk about what? Your professional DNA, your defined natural abilities to succeed. You already have it right inside of you. To be your best and what? Unique self. You can do it. But it takes for you to be intentional, and it takes for you to take some time to really dig into those different areas of advancing in career, advancing in life, advancing in your business, whatever it is, whatever path and journey that you are on. But we're talking about the DNA of a professional. And I'm telling you right now, you have those things inside of you. We just have to pull them out. We may have to tighten them up a little bit. We may have to explore and dig a little bit deeper, but it does definitely exist. So that being said, you already know what I'm going to say. I say this every single time we get together, and I hope this, like every other time, has been helpful for you, is that you do have everything in yourself. You do have everything inside of you, inside of yourself, to be your best and your unique self. And what is that? Your professional DNA, your defined natural abilities to succeed, your defined natural abilities to kick butt professionally. And I know you can do it. And I know that you can begin right now in your present to set your future self up for success. Until next time, guys. Bye.